Hey everybody, I'm Michael from Bay Area Hiking Guides. I devote this channel into helping people around the Bay explore the wild and learn more about it, and to help you and give you tips to being a better hiker. Alright, well in this video we're going to be actually talking about being a better hiker. We're going to talk about going up hills and all those techniques and stuff that you can do to make it a little easier getting up those hills. Alright, stay tuned. Alright, so it's so nice to get back out here in California and start hiking again. I haven't hiked in 2 weeks in the state of California due to the fire issues that we were having. And then also as well, I was on vacation in New York, so it's been some time. It is so great to come back out here. We had that heavy wind and these oaks are holding up. They had to make some sacrifices, but they're still here. Love these beauties. So we're going to go ahead and discuss some stuff that might help you out through your hikes, and especially when you're going uphill. Let's go ahead and start. Alright, so one of the big things that I notice within a lot of these groups and within a lot of stuff that's on meetups, and and I've done quite a few of them, and as well as some of the other groups that are running. There's a lot of hiking groups in the Bay Area. I don't know about some of these other areas outside the Bay, but the Bay has tons and tons of hiking groups for all kinds of different ages, all different age ranges. Not a lot of stuff for kids. A lot of stuff for elderly. And a lot of stuff for people that are teenagers, or people that are couples, or people that are looking to find a little love on the trail. There's a lot of the similarities of some of the issues that are happening within like competition. So people kind of get a little competitive. Yeah, it's okay to be competitive now and then, but when you go and you have a group and you have a variety of different skill levels, you can kind of leave some people behind, and then that just creates a whole nother issue. So it's always important to kind of get to know the hiking leader a little bit and know, hey, let them know, hey, I'm not going to be, I don't hike that often. I'm a little slower paced, or I am a faster paced hiker. So whatever it is, so they kind of have an idea to know what speed they need to be, going as within a group they should know. And then also to keep an eye on you or have you in the lower end of the group. It doesn't mean that you're selective category. But what that does is it kind of helps the group kind of smooth along. And if your hiking leader doesn't appreciate that, or the group's like, hey, we don't want to be hiking with you, you're too slow, yeah, you probably should be hiking somewhere else. I'm a great hiker. I'm not going to lie to you here. I think I hike pretty dang good, okay? I've done some pretty excessive mileage. I can hike fast if needed, and I can hike slow if needed. But whenever I'm hiking with a group, I always want to take in mind with everybody else's and everybody else's skill level. I don't want you to get completely overwhelmed. So don't get too competitive. That's where injuries can happen. That's where you can end up getting lost. That's where all of a sudden your group just disappears. You don't want to have that. And that's not good for anybody. So it's always important for the group to stay together as a whole, as one big group, and as the hiker leader should know. And if he doesn't, well, they'll start looking for their hiking groups. We always got hikes going on, so you're always welcome to hike with me. And just hike within your own pace and go your own speed, and listen to your body. So important. So that brings me on the next topic. Listen to your body. If you're getting pains, you want to take a break, you want to take a breather, you need some water, you need to munch down on some munchies because you can't do it on the move, hey, that's quite okay with me. Don't get all caught up in, oh, well, I'm trying to beat the record on all trails or something. Believe me, your body's going to start knocking on the door. Whether it's, you got to go pee, or you need water, or you're hungry, or you just can't take it anymore. I mean, it's possible too. And one of the big topics is going up hills. And when you're going up hills, it's very important to breathe. It's always important before your hike to start stretching as well. That's key. There's a whole kind of bunch of videos out on YouTube that help you with stretching. But get your stretches on before you hike, and stretch after you're done hiking. That's always important to do. I try to do that as much as I can. So I'm coming up, and I'm just breathing. Because what this is doing is it's relaxing your body. You're telling your body to relax. You're telling your muscles to relax, because when your muscles get all tight and like, what that's doing is that's causing your muscles to go, whoa, okay, we're going to tighten up. We're going to tighten up. And then that's when you start getting into injuries. You start getting tissue injuries, or muscle injuries. You pull a hamstring. That's so much fun to pull a hammy. Yeah, I've done that. Experience and learn from my mistakes. I didn't stretch that much, and I was like, hey, yeah, I'm going to be really competitive and take this guy up in the stairs because I'm an avid hiker. I start going up, and then snap. Tore my meniscus so deep inside, I was out for months. So it's always important to stretch and to not get so competitive, and it's also important to take it easy. but to breathe and breathe in, breathe out. And what this is doing is it's calming your body down. It's basically a therapist saying, hi, I'm here for your muscles. Relax, and you're relaxing your body, and also it's important to continue to do that breathing. It's like when you're lifting weights, it's like breathe, make sure you breathe, you know, when you're like, well, there's a reason for that. It's because it's relaxing your body as you're trying to do something really intense. So here we are in a situation. I got a steep hill here, and I got to get up it. And I'm going to relax my body, basically going to be giving my body some therapy, relaxing all that tension, and I'm going to push myself up. I'm also going to be looking left and right, so I know if there's any easier areas that I can get up from, or also if I have anything that's nearby, whether it's loose gravel or something that I can keep an eye on. So I usually keep my head down a little bit and just kind of scan the trail just a little bit as I continue on. You don't want to be hitting those rattlesnakes either. It was good to keep an eye on those guys. Let them go their way. All right? Now, if you have pools and you want to use the guys, that's okay too. Having 2 pools makes it even that much better. And there's a lot of people that really like to use pools, and I just started using them because I was stubborn when I was a young lad. It's giving you a little bit of leverage to get the push-up, and you get your arms working too. Secondary pull also helps a lot too. Another thing you want to do is you want to go ahead and you're going to have a bunch of munchies, and you want to start putting in a lot of salt and sweet into your body. Now, the sweets might be, maybe you're into gummy bears or gummy worms. Now, Beth tends to like those. They also have those shock blocks. Bolts, those are good too. They're a little bit more on the expensive side. Helps the body out big time and getting up hills and keeping that rhythm going, okay? The salt, you're losing tons of salt. That's why you always want to put electrolytes or salts of some kind in your body. Maybe it's pretzels, maybe it's some nuts. I got some nuts here. I'm a nut. And I'm going to continuously put this in my body every 15 minutes. Now, if it's colder, if it's in the colder season, I don't have to do it as much. But when I'm out in the summer and it's a desert and it's hot, I'm putting salt in my body every 15 minutes because I'm pumping a ton of it out. So that's important. And if the sugar, if it's bolts, if it's gummies of some kind, if it's dried fruit, that all works too. I know your dentist is not going to like me. Or if it's nuts of some kind, whether it's cashews are really good. Something that's got the salt on them, almonds are really good. That's a good nut to have. Hey, it was a good nut to have in your party. And then electrolytes is really important. If you want to have electrolytes instead, you want to do it from a liquid way, you can do that. I tend not to put it in my pack, in my my reservoir, my bladder bag for my water. I tend not to do that because once I put electrolyte in there, then it gets all, well, it makes a big mess of things, and then I end up getting more mold in there and stuff. It's not fun. These pockets right here, you can just open them right up and be a professional. So it's important to know that. The other thing that's really cool to do, you ever wonder what that zipper's all about? Why does Mike have a zipper in the middle of his pants? The reason for that is because this is going to air out my pants if I need to have them air out. And it's going to air out my pants. They can breathe in, relax. And that's going to kind of cool them down a little bit. The other thing is when you have food on the side of you, it's always in key. If you put like chocolate or yogurt covered raisins, leg there, you're generating a lot of heat. So it's going to end up start cooking them and melting the chocolate there, keeping it in my bag away from my back as much as possible and away from the side of my pouch, unless it's like super cold. If you're dealing with 20 degrees, well, that doesn't happen much here, but it does happen somewhere else I went. It makes your life a whole lot easier, and you can just constantly keep putting the food in your body. The other thing you want to do is your feet. Your feet are really, really important, and it's important to know you don't want to over sweat too much, but a lot of the sweat's going to build up in your socks. That's why it's important to have wool socks, not cotton, okay? Because cotton, it builds up all the moisture and stuff. Wool just spits moisture out, and then it just ends up going in the shoe. But you're not going to get, sucked up with all that moisture from your sweat. So I've actually heard what a lot of people will do is after about a mile or two, they take their shoes off entirely, and the socks, so just kind of breathe out your feet. And if you're doing something really intense and you're doing it for, a whole day, it's pretty important to do that because you want to breathe out your feet and appreciate your feet, because believe me, they're doing a lot of work. Like some people, they only buy smart wool socks, and those things are so expensive just for one pair. It's like $30 or something. It's like, oh my God, it's ridiculous. Jeez. Also, with the shoes and having the socks and all that stuff, all the sweat and stuff, I've heard of people using liners. I know Sierra Club uses liners a lot. In my mind, it's just one more thing to buy. I've never had to use a liner. I've never had a problem. I think I've inherited some of Bigfoot's genes, maybe. So it's important to kind of figure out what works for you and what'll help you get out there and kick some booty. Because not every technique works for everybody. I don't use liners, but I know people that do, and they rave about them, and that's okay. So it's totally up to you. Oh, another technique that you can do is when you're out on the trail and maybe you've got some sweat on your clothes. That happened somehow. That's okay, no big deal. What you can end up doing is, if it's quick dry or fleece, or something of that nature, you can put it on the back of your backpack and hang it on the back of your bag here to, just tie it down and let the sun dry that sucker right out for you. Or leave it on a rock when you sit there and have lunch. That'll help. If you have cotton, you're pretty much screwed. That's why we don't wear cotton. We just don't do it. I don't even like doing it in the summer, even though people say it's cool. The other thing it's really important to do is regulate your body heat. And having jeans on, I know you're starting out and you're learning how to hike. Jeans are, pretty much the only option you have. Or sweatpants. You want to be important. It's always good to get hiking pants because they're lighter, and jeans tend to not only trap in a ton of that heat, but they also, if they get wet and it's raining, well, you're in for a whole lot of fun. It's going to suck up most of the moisture, about 60 to 70%, and it's going to make things a whole lot of fun here for you. You don't want to do that, so try to get yourself a nice pair of Columbias. I think they go for on Amazon for like $35. I always start off, I don't start off with a bunch of stuff on me, unless I'm like in a really cold condition. If we get too sweaty, now you're going to have another problem. It's going to soak your body. It's going to soak up your clothes and stuff. So you want to constantly keep regulating your heat in your body, especially for these winter months we got coming up. Regulate it. Keep an eye on what's going on. If you're sweating, take a layer off. Trust me, when you're in positions, you're in places, and I've been in places where it's ice and I got snow and I got everything all over, and we're at like 19, 20 degrees, and I'm going up and I got all this weight on me and I've got a bunch of, clothes on me. And we don't deal with serious situations like that in the Bay Area, but I've been in places like the Grand Canyon that we had to do that in the winter. And I'm going to constantly regulate my body heat. Now, it's so cold out there where we have a nice black cup of coffee. Now, we're talking a black cup of coffee, no cream, nothing to cool down the coffee, sitting there. In 15 minutes, it's frozen solid. So, it's like, hey, we got 5 minutes to drink our coffee. It's the lightning round. And you're starting to sweat. Well, and then when you stop and you take a breather, now your body's like, well, we're wet, so nothing we can do. Nature's like, well, sorry, I'll freeze it for you. Now what's going to happen? It's going to freeze up, and it's going to freeze your skin. It's not going to be fun. So always, always, always regulate your body heat. Check it out. If you got to take a layer off, take a layer off. Okay? Only bring so much that you can carry. All right, guys, feel free to leave a comment down below. Talk about some of your ideas and tips that you use when you're on the trails. I want to know. Thank you so much for checking out this channel. I appreciate you guys so much. All the subs. I mean, we're working our way up here. We're getting so close, and I'm trying to answer all the comments as best as I can with my crazy schedule. But thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. You're also fantastic. It was so great to have Tyler on the channel a few weeks ago, or last week. We had done all those videos before, so that was a blast. He's such a knowledgeable dude, So are these trees. But it's so great to have him on aboard. And then we've got Beth's going to come back, so we'll be doing some stuff, don't worry. And then as we get into spring, we got all those wildflowers. We have all those videos that we did before. And I'm sure there's some other stuff that we didn't talk about from wildflowers that maybe we'll have Beth discuss something in more detail. So it's always important to hit that bell as well, because it's going to notify you on all the recent videos we got coming out to give you that education, that knowledge, to hike with confidence. I know you want the confidence. Oh yeah. And also, take in mind, don't get all caught up. It progressively keep hiking and you'll get better and better and better, believe me. All right, guys. Thank you so much. I'm going to head off. I got some hiking to do. Take care. Is that why people got out of the way when I was coming up the trail? Because I look like Spec Ops. Sometimes I go up trails, and just because my beard alone tends to scare people off a little bit. I don't know what that's all about. I gotta call Macy's up and apply for the Kris Kringle roll. Should have done that a while ago.